time in that team next year because of that.
Circuit, a big track like this, there's a lot to learn, a lot of experienced people.
It is time for World Superbikes here at Aragon as well. We have reached the finale of the weekend and it is time to get a final winner crowned. After the streak was broken of Top Rack, it is time to find out how it is going to all play out today. Let's go down to TNT as they currently speak with some of our drivers before the race.
Was yesterday, so let's see. Conditions are similar, temperatures similar, so hopefully we can have a better performance in the first 10 laps.
Good luck, Ryan.
Thank you. Cheers, guys.
214th, keep an eye out for him. And now a couple of rows in front. I just want a word with the six-time world champ, Mr. Jonathan Ray, because he had a brilliant Super Pole race. 8th he was, top Yamaha. And I'm just going to go around the front of him. He's got Fabian Faria just at the side of him. He's not in his usual position of concentration on the tank there. You seem a lot more relaxed with this race too, Jonathan.
Well, just not sure. Don't have much feelings, to be honest. A bit like race one. Bit nervous, anxious as well. But that tends to mean I'm pretty fast. You know, I didn't expect that race one to stay in that front group. No, I mean the middle group for so long. And just at the end, I struggled a little bit with both front and rear tyres, and I couldn't exactly do what I needed to do on the bike. But yeah, good start. Try and stay in the slipstreams in the first few laps, and if that can pull me away, then we can fight for a position. But yeah, the first laps will be key.
All the very best.
Cheers, mate.
Yes, he'll be there. Interesting to see that body language from him. He's usually with his chin on his tank, isn't he, before the races? But anticipation, but maybe a good sign for him. We're just now to 6th place in the Super Pole race to Alex Lowe's. He's just crouched down as usual. Alex, another strong weekend for you, but it's not been the easiest ones. But I think you knew that here at Aragon.
Yeah, not the easiest, but actually really happy with the results. To be mixing it in the group of the Ducatis at the front is pleasing for us on a tough track. One more race now, try and get a good start again, get in the group. Small change on the bike to try to have a better front feeling from laps, you know, like 12, 13. Yeah, let's see how it is.
The best, bud.
Cheers.
And over to his brother from 6th to 5th, because it was a 5th and a 6th for the Lowe's brothers. So just come around that. There you go, Rich. Nice one, mate. Nicely manoeuvred. If Sam Lowe's can have those kind of manoeuvres, Rich, yeah, he'll be doing very, very well here in this race too. Oh, and Sam's got his chin. Oh, there we go. Sam, 5th place. Another strong weekend for you. I think there's a podium on the cards.
Yeah, no, I got caught napping a little bit at the end with the Iannone, but top three had a little bit more speed, but I'm not expecting this race to be quite as fast. I was on the hard front earlier and maybe missed it a little bit, but yeah, longer race, last 5-6 laps I feel strong, and yeah, let's aim for another podium.
Brilliant weekend so far though.
Yeah, enjoying it, feel competitive, and you know, as a rider though, you always want to make that step, and then top two, or if Alvaro as well, just might have a bit more, so let's try and find that.
All the best.
Thank you.
Right, Iannone's just to the left. Absolutely no chance. I'm not doing that to myself again. Absolutely no chance. Come on, Rich, over here. Alvaro Bautista, he's just putting his helmet on, and that's usually a sign that he doesn't like to talk, so I won't, because I am a little bit late coming to the front row. But Alvaro Bautista on the front row, keep your eye out for him, because in the latter part of this race, he is going to be challenged for the win. Is he going to challenge, though, his teammates? Is there team orders here in this? 41 points to the lead of the championship. Top Rack, a brilliant weekend so far. How are you feeling for race 2?
I'm feeling good. I'm ready to fight again because, you know, last corner I lose 0-3, and I'm just doing the fight. But we will see who is the win again in this race, because this is very important for me. This race, this is the last Aragon race for me with Superbike, and I will try to my best again like before.
I look forward to it. Good luck, Top Rack.
Thank you.
1 minute left on this grid walk. This man here is 41 points in the lead, but any mistakes by that man, this championship could be down to 16 points if this man can win the race. A quick word, Nicola. I know it's late. How are you feeling for race 2?
I feel quite good. This morning feeling was not bad, so I hope to be fast also in this race.
Good luck, Nicola.
Thank you.
Thank you for talking to it. It is late here. It is race 2. This could be the most important race of 2025 to be the world champion this year.
Indeed, it could be. All eyes will be on that man. Can he once again claw some points back on his nemesis, Top Rack Razgatlioglu? The gap at the moment is 41 points.
It absolutely is. Well, the preparation is taking place on the grid. We've just had the grid walk and we've had all of the conversations with those drivers, especially the ones who currently start on the front row of the grid. A reminder to you, as they were just mentioning, a big race in the championship battle. Is this the race where we see Bugala enter himself into contention? So many question marks, and I'm looking forward to getting some answers as well. The grid, of course, for this race being set by what we had earlier on with the Super Pole race. That was for the top 9. Outside of that, it is what they had in their Super Pole qualifying session as well. So we're getting closer and closer to getting this race underway. TNT back down there, still currently speaking and looking at some of the information ahead of this race. Of course, we were very close to a record being broken by Toprak earlier in the Super Pole. Unfortunately, it didn't come in his case, but it was another win for Buliga. But he mentioned that this is the important race, and this is the race that he wants to try and win and try and become a race winner in for the first time since the round, as I mentioned, of the Czech Republic that we had. Round number 5 of the season that was. We've been to Australia, we've been to Portugal, we've been to Netherlands, we've been to Italy as well, and to the Czech Republic, as I mentioned, for round 5. We went to Misano for round 6, and then the UK, Donington Park held round number 7, and then we've also been to Balton Park for round 8, along with France and Aragon is where we are at so far right now, with only a few more rounds remaining in this championship, all still to play for here in the Superbikes as we try and get ready to crown our champion. So, final bits of preps are being done to the bike. The wheel cover's about to be removed, and the mechanics are about to make their way off the grid, and we will then set ourselves off for the warm-up lap, of course. So they'll have a warm-up lap to just get everything all set and ready, and then the race will get under. Remember, double the distance coming your way. Okay, well, the grid for this race is going to see, once again, Buliga starting on pole position and Toprak in second. That's been our top 2 across the event so far. The change comes P3, that is where Batista finds himself in as the Spanish driver, and then we have Andrea in P4. He made up some good places, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do from 4th. Then is the Lowe's brothers, Sam ahead of Alex, they are 5th and 6th, and then we find ourselves with Petrucci, Jonathan Ray in 8th as he gets ready for his final race when it comes to Aragon, and then it's Michael Vandermark, and then we have Andrea Locatelli, who completes our top 10. Remember, the final race for Toprak as well in the Superbikes around Aragon. We set off for the warm-up lap then. The formation lap begins, and the final bits now happen around this venue before we get ready for the race. Remember, we had a long race one yesterday in terms of one where there was a lot of management to do. So it was a very long race if you were one of our top 2, having to manage so much. A bit more of a sprint, of course, with the Super Pole being only 10 laps. And then we're back to our usual distance, 18 laps for this one. So there's plenty of racing to come your way. So get ready for what will be quite a feisty start down towards Town 1. We've mostly been able to keep it clean so far across this weekend. We had 3 retirements, though, earlier on in the Super Pole race. So there is all to play for, I think. But keeping your nose clean, definitely vital. This is one of those circuits which has promoted and encouraged overtaking across the weekend so far, which has been really, really great to see. Of course, the big opportunity down the start-finish straight, round the final corner even. We had a drag race to the line yesterday. We had a last corner move for the win today. So it's all been tasty out there on the circuit in terms of the battling, as the fans in the grandstands line this circuit, awaiting what should be a thrilling contest. One of the most important races when it comes to this title battle. We're getting into the final stages now, and while we can't crown a champion today, we can go a long way in deciding one as well. The wind currently 4 kilometers out there, 2 miles per hour at the moment as well. So wind is always something that the drivers can have to deal with. Around a circuit like this, you don't want too much of the wind as well. All of the lefts, all of the rights. It is quite wild and it is quite ludicrous. In terms of your championship battle, 41 points between Toprak and Buliga. It is a 2-horse race to crown a WSBK champion of 2025. But today, we're getting all set and ready to try and get ourselves a winner. It is going to be everyone lining up into position. These are nervy moments then. It's time for the final race of this Aragon weekend. And everyone now looks onto the grid where we see the green flag being waved at the back. It is time for race number 2 of the weekend here in the World Superbikes. Lights out, we're underway. Good reaction time from the pole sitter, and that will be lead maintained from Buliga down towards the first corner, but Toprak will definitely give him a challenge. Top 2 as they were. In third position, it is still going to be Batista. Can he put some pressure on Toprak though, I wonder, as they try and make their way through on the first tour of 18 on this opening lap. Exactly the getaway that Buliga wanted, under no threat like we saw yesterday in race number 1, but Toprak has been able to put the pressure on from this point onwards to keep an eye on for him. Meanwhile, dropping down, Batista's lost lots of positions. Moving up to third is Andrea Ayonon, and then Jonathan Ray. He's had a great start as well. He's up to P4, and that has been a dreadful start, an absolutely dreadful start for the driver who started in third position. He finds himself dropping down in a big way as they run wheel to wheel, side by side on this opening tour. Further back in the mid-pack and competing our top 10 is Sam Lowes, and then we find ourselves with Petrucci in 9th, and then we have Gardiner, who's moved up as well into our top 10 places. So nice and tidy stuff from him as we try and rotate our way through. The battle for third getting quite tasty out there on the circuit. Top 2 looking to try and break clear. Once again, that has been the story of what we've seen so far this weekend as well in the races. It was actually close. It was very close. We had 3 riders battling for it as well. When it came to race number 2, race number 1 earlier on in the weekend, race number 2 though sees a change of lead come in immediately like we saw earlier on. Toprak back to P1, but Buliga is going to fight this one. It's going to be neck and neck between the two of them once again, and back up the inside goes Buliga, and he will get himself to P1. A long way to go in this one compared to what we saw a few hours ago though. It's basically double the distance, so you've got to be cautious. You've got to be careful with how much you push, where you try and go for the attacks. You've got to make sure you don't cost each other time. Into the braking zone we go, and that is the top 2 completing our opening tour very close together. Andrea though, he's had a very good start as I mentioned in third position, and how he's going to look to try and see whether there's any opportunities to get himself in as a contender here at Motorland Aragon. And the battle for P4 currently, Jonathan Ray looking to defend from Alex Lowes. He's leading the way in terms of the 2 brothers out there on the circuit as well, which is very, very great to see. Definitely on his side of the garage. I'm 100% sure won't be the case though for Sam Lowes, and I'm sure he'll want to get on with this one and look to try and see whether there's any opportunities, whether there's any chances to try and go on the attack, because that is basically what he does as well. So, up 4 places went Jonathan Ray. We mentioned the start that he had. Very good, very extraordinary, and up a lot of places he went on that opening tour. He's the biggest winner in terms of our race start. A driver who has lost out quite a bit was Montella. He of course had a moment earlier on, if you remember, in the Superpole race. Meanwhile, we're side by side for the lead, and Toprak back up the inside, but the cutback is going to be attempted and trialled from Buliga, and Buliga looks to try and fight this one, but Toprak has got the position secured for the moment. But now, here we go, Buliga back in the slipstream. It's going to be neck and neck between the 2 riders down towards the braking zone. They will go. It's all about who can brake that little bit later, and Buliga in this instance has got that position for keeps, and that is an exciting start to our contest as we make our way round the final corner, back down the start-finish straight. We've mentioned this has been a slipstreaming opportunity so far this weekend, and in this case, not a battle. Meanwhile, further back, Batista looking to try and make up for all of the lost positions that he's had at the start. Fastest lap that time by the way, went over to Toprak. Driver in second place looking to attack our race leader as well. Let us know in the chat on your thoughts of the start that we have had, as meanwhile side by side we go. Andrea looking to try and defend that third and podium position. Jonathan Ray trying to get himself in there as he looks to try and end off the World Superbikes on a high here at Aragon. On the power we go. Toprak just assessing things at the moment. I mean, the battle for P1's good. The battle for P3 is absolutely extraordinary. Absolutely wild stuff coming into play. By the way, Montella had a long lap penalty to complete, and that has been completed, as you can see at the bottom of your screen there, next to our JB Motorsports hashtag as well. As we see in the live chat being mentioned, it is Toprak versus Buliga. That's been the case so much, and that is exactly what we are seeing right now at the moment. But as I mentioned, unlike the other races, I'm actually looking forward to this battle for third, because there are so many riders in a line all together. These bikes making their way by. It's basically, you've got to be careful who you could be getting your rival coming up the inside. So it is one of those where they have to be cautious, as meanwhile we're about to go wheel to wheel once again. It is bike to bike, and it is Toprak back to the race lead. You can tell that we've seen so much of this over the weekend. Buliga's taken it back. Yeah, we've seen it so much. There might be other circuits where we are absolutely losing our head in a battle like this, but not around this circuit, where you're seeing it basically every second, because Buliga was in front, and now it's Toprak once again, and Toprak back to the race lead, and he that time by also set the fastest lap again. So he is on the attack, he is pushing on, and it is great to watch and see currently this battle take place between the two of them. These two titans they've been across this season, and especially of this weekend of racing as well. And Toprak just looking to now try and control things. As I mentioned, the top two are pulling away at the moment. Batista, what a great lap it was. We didn't see it with the TV pictures, but he's been able to move up back to third, so he's had some extraordinary lap last time by. He's gained a few places, back to where he started the race. Jonathan Ray, meanwhile, in fourth still, and it's Andrea, the one who's lost quite a few places. So he's lost a lot of positions at the start of the race as well. It is all about just trying to keep things nice and under control. These bikes can get easily loose on the exits. Some good traction between Buliga there, as he was just able to get on the power. Fantastic driving, and that is what's been the difference. Buliga in race one, Super Pole race, both of them out of the final corner. He was just gaining so much on Toprak. In race one, it was enough to make it a drag race to the line. Race two, it was the actual win at the final corner. Right now, though, it's neck and neck between the two of them. Toprak taking the widest possible line, and Buliga just easily getting himself back to the race lead. Extraordinary. So Buliga hits the front once again. And I mean, Toprak won't want to do that on the final lap, because that was wide stuff. Over the line we go. And a good lap coming in there for Batista, P3. And he's now trying to solidify that P3. He's trying to pull away and see whether he can put some pressure on our top two. And if there is a battle, then he's absolutely going to give himself that opportunity as well to try and go on the attack. In the chat, I can see who will be the king of the championship, Beluga or Toprak. Well, it looks like it's going Toprak's advantage in the championship. But if there is any form of misfortune and Buliga wins the race, so if Toprak has issues and Buliga wins, the gap would be 16 points heading into the next round. So it is all to play for. And I can see Greenwood Bond there supporting Toprak as well in this battle between himself and Buliga coming out. So it's 1-1 basically in terms of race wins this weekend for them. But of course, Buliga will want to win the actual race. He won't want to just solidify a win from the weekend from a Super Pole race. He'll want to go after the big one, and quite an important race in this championship battle, as we've mentioned. That's the one you want to win. And even if you can't become champion this season, you want to try and end it on a high. Toprak wants to end World Superbike racing around Aragon Motorland on a high as well. So you've got quite a lot of different goals these drivers are trying to achieve at the moment. But one thing is for sure, is that they all want to end on the top step of the podium. Remember, we've only had 3 different winners this season as well. Do I really need to name them for you? Toprak and Buliga, but of course the third one was Andrea, as I mentioned. He was able to get himself to the win. Andrea Locatelli won at the Netherlands round at the Circuit Assen. earlier on this season. Jonathan Rea, as I mentioned, up 4 places, started in 8th, currently is in 4th, and that's the position progress that he has had, and that you could see on screen if you were synced up with us a few moments ago as well. Some nice battling going on. I think that's Sam Lowe's trying to put some pressure. That is on Locatelli, who we were just telling you about a few moments ago. So some great fighting going on that time by. Buliga, meanwhile, fastest lap, 1 minute 48.554. I mean, a natural thing that lap after lap after lap, we're seeing the times get quicker and quicker. So it is great to watch and see in terms of what lap times we can get to in this race as well, and who's bettering it each time by. Because as I mentioned, the drivers are absolutely flying. In terms of that time, in terms of the previous lap, around a 10th quicker Batista was to Jonathan Rea. So he's just slowly building that gap to basically make sure that there's no battle for P3 and that he can get that position and just focus on any drama, on any opportunities that come his way between our top 2. Because I'll be honest, it has been very close. It has been very close between first and second place on so many occasions. Not in terms of the time gap, but in terms of how close the bikes were into the corner. So you need to be able to keep yourself within range, within an opportunity here at the Motorland Aragon circuit as well, because we've had a season where realistically you're only going to see a win change, someone else winning a race is what I'm trying to say, if there is drama. We've only had it once so far this season. In terms of Locatelli, as I mentioned, able to get himself to P1 at the Netherlands. So you need misfortune, and in order to capitalize on misfortune, you need to basically have, you basically need to find yourself with an opportunity to try and get third, and then you can capitalize in order to get a win as well. Okay, so we make our way through then around this circuit at the moment, and Toprak is going to now find himself with the fastest lap, driver second place, giving chase to Buliga at the front of the field. Great bike sounds as we dip downhill, and that is great for Toprak in terms of the cornering speed. How dare you get closer to the ground? Who's getting closest? It looked like that time by it was Toprak, who just was a little bit braver. Fantastic to watch these riders go for it as well. Of course, you've got the rider of Buliga, who finds himself in the Ducati bike, Toprak in the BMW one. And in terms of those standings, BMW and Ducati, by the way, not separated by absolutely anything. They are so close together. Talking about close together, change of lead once again, and this time Toprak now the leader in this battle. Buliga has had his time in terms of controlling things at the front, but there was the moment where Toprak says thank you very much. He takes the position, and now he's the one leading the way for a while as well. Not for long, because back up the inside, as I mentioned, really for some reason Toprak is just not nailing that final corner any time. He has a chance to fight it back into turn 1. Buliga with the place, and some great fighting going on between these two riders, but Buliga having to now try and control things. And Toprak, I mean, it's a perfect dream scenario for us. If he finds himself leading, Toprak leading, Buliga's in second, it's a perfect scenario for us because we're guaranteed a close finish, whether it's a side-by-side to the line, whether it's another last lap, last corner overtake. If we find ourselves with Toprak ahead, then we find ourselves with an opportunity to see something extraordinary come in right at the end of the race. So Toprak needs to kind of be the leader, or he's basically going to have no chance of winning with how the final corner goes. Okay, Toprak back to P1, and Buliga now chasing. I'm looking forward to the final corners, because you know you probably are going to see another overtake coming our way in a few moments' time. He is so close, maybe even before that. It looks like he's going past, he's going through, and Buliga back through as well, but Toprak isn't going to give that one straight up. Tries to get the cut back line, 11 to go here at Motorland Aragon. Back up the inside. Toprak loves a bit of a dive bomb. It's kind of the approach of send it, be just a little bit later on the brakes, and then deal with it in the corner is the type of thing that he likes to go for at times. And that is why we've seen Buliga get the comeback on so many different occasions. Now he's got the inside line. Buliga retaking the lead down into the final corner on the circuit. And now, back to the floor stuff. This long sweeping corner that leads you on to the start-finish straight. Buliga with the advantage. 10 to go here at Motorland Aragon. Buliga finding himself just trying to get himself to another victory. After winning Super Pole, he wants to win an actual race. He wants to win the actual one where we go the full distance, where he has to deal with exactly what Toprak had to do yesterday in race number 1 of the weekend. Last 3 laps, by the way. Toprak quicker on lap 6, on lap 7. Advantage, Buliga, lap number 8 though. So Buliga was about over a tenth quicker when it came to that lap number 8. Just over 3 tenths quicker, by the way, for Toprak over Buliga lap 7, and then nearly a tenth quicker for Toprak over Buliga the previous lap of lap 6. So it is close, and it is great to watch as well. As I've mentioned, the attention is completely on these two because they've driven away from everyone else, and everyone else now having to find themselves looking to try and stay close, looking to try and stay within range. Fantastic between these two, as meanwhile Toprak now just going to get closer and closer. Brilliant camera angles to show you how close it can really get. A dive bomb move possibly incoming, and Toprak back to the lead. Well, it looked absolutely spectacular from that camera angle as they made their way through, but we know what's coming. We're heading to Buliga's, probably his favourite part of the circuit at this rate, because of how much he can just utilise the grip around this venue. And he's got the inside line again, and of course he's taken back the lead. I think it was 3 tenths that Toprak was mentioning that he was losing at that part of the circuit. Now he's got a chance though. It is going to be basically a drag race. The bike's wiggling as we go down into the first turn. Toprak with the advantage, takes the lead. Buliga tries to take it a long way round. Fantastic racing coming in between these two drivers. And you know, we've got a long way to go. We've still got these riders. They're going to put on a show. They're going to keep going for it, and you're going to see some fantastic racing. But that's what I'm mentioning. It's getting so close now, and you can tell that it is the finale of the weekend, basically. Race 3, it is the last race of the weekend, and they're going all in. This is the win it or bin it approach that Buliga was talking about, and he's going to go for it here. He's absolutely going to go for it from this point onwards. Absolutely fantastic to watch and to see as well. So, we make our way through. By the way, it is now a single point between Ducati and BMW. Ducati able to take the lead of the team's championship after the Super Pole race, and it will be a single point as well as it currently coming into this race. It's of course all going to change around. Don't you worry, BMW versus Ducati. We're watching the battle in front of us at the moment. It was advantage Ducati as they were able to take the lead by a point. Can they now try and maintain it? Buliga with a look once more. 9 to go around this circuit. In terms of the live championship battle, by the way, 46 points is what we are receiving right now on screen at the moment in terms of what it would be. Let us know your thoughts then on this race as we continue to see this battle play out. Wide line for Toprak again. I mean, it can give him some good momentum in terms of the entire run to turn 1, but it's not going to help you on the final lap. I can definitely guarantee you that. Buliga leading the way. As it stands, it would now be 36 points in the points battle. Really could be about to get interesting, this. It could be about to get 30. We could be about to see it all close in. And here we go then. Currently, it is Toprak just assessing things. Gear 2 at the moment, looking to just stand on the power, and then he finds himself with Buliga directly in front of him. You try to look for an open gap. Toprak finds the open gap. Toprak isn't really a driver who needs an invitation, as Buliga took the opportunity to just check in behind, see how far away P3 is. The answer, quite far away. 2.8 seconds at the moment. Far away by World Superbike margins, by the way. Of course, in other championships, might be considered close. Here in the World Superbikes, it is the two of them in their own league. The two of them battling. We make our way through the chicanes. About to turn left as well. And Buliga just absolutely assessing things at the moment to see whether there's an opportunity. Opportunity came a few corners ago for Toprak. He sent one up the inside and he was able to barge his way by. But that's where it's getting close. That's where they're having to be careful about how brave can they be. How much can they risk it? Yellow flags, by the way, are now flying out on this circuit with 8 laps to go. So it looks like we have momentarily had some trouble as Toprak now looks to try and stand on the power and take back this position as well. And we've got the number 99 who has had a problem, by the way, it looks like, as meanwhile Buli got back to P1 as well. And there we get confirmation. It is Batain, the Turkish driver, who has crashed and has had a moment. Great to see him walking away from that moment. That was the cause of our yellow flags. Everything continuing on now. We are currently still making our way through, but that's a huge disappointment. Our first retirement of our contest today then for this race. Toprak, he's not in our view anymore. He surely tried to go around the... Oh, he's gone very wide. He's gone very deep, and he's lost a lot of time there to the gap that we had, which was tenths, which was bike lengths, but now it is increased. And we thought he was going for an audacious move. We've seen him dive to the inside a few times, but we've never seen him take it the long way around. I thought we were getting prepared for that. You would have seen the moment if you were synced up with us here as well, with your own TV pictures of how Toprak looked to the outside. It looked like it was going to be an absolutely extraordinary move. Instead, it was wide, wide, wide by a huge distance. And that is now a battle that is no longer as close. It is one where Toprak needs to try chase. Look, he tries to take it long way round and then just going to kind of wash out wide and create a new racing line almost. A racing line which of course you'll never want to trial out again. But it is the direction that unfortunately went as well. So you're still getting a bit of the slipstream at this phase. We've got the yellow flags back out once again, and I think now it's the number 21 that has had a moment as well. That's going to be Zaidi, who's had a moment out there on the circuit, so unfortunate stuff for him. So that is 2 crashes coming in a space of a few laps. So wild stuff. That will be another driver then out. Disappointment for the American, the Malaysian I should say, of Zaidi, who finds himself out of the contest. The incident happened at turn number 9 and 10, by the way. So that's where it's happened with 6 laps to go. So it's all getting quite interesting between those two drivers. In terms of out front, nothing more interesting left. Zaidi, he's out. As I mentioned, just seen him walking away. Great to see that he is able to walk away from that moment, from that incident. Tell you what, Batista's going to be looking quite interested in trying to improve a podium spot. He would absolutely love if there's an opportunity that comes his way, because the top 2 battle is over at the moment. It will now need to be brilliance from Toprak as he looks to try and end Aragon with World Superbikes on a high as well. Let us know in the chat on who you are rooting for come the finish. We've already had Greenwood Bond, who has let us know that he's supporting Toprak. Toprak may need a bit more support at this stage because he's got now a deficit to make up. He's got to try gain the advantage, and this advantage which, well, we've not seen him had to do all weekend long. Race 1, it was a battle from start to finish. Super Pole race, a battle start to finish. And now this race number 2, technically 3rd race of the weekend, but of course the 2nd race for proper is where it is all taking place as well. Looks like we've got some activity going on down at pit lane at the moment. Let's see whether we can go and listen in quickly
and find out what's going on.
Nice little safety, thanks very much. And incidentally, the latest route.
You didn't get to hear much, unfortunately, but there is something going on down there at the moment. Of course, we had a few incidents. We've had a bit of drama that has come into play. Rinaldi, definitely the driver, 21st. Car number 12 is bike number 12, I should say, rather, has had a moment surely as he finds himself down by a lap, so maybe a trip down into the pit lane. Now this is a complete different battle to what we have seen so far. It has been feisty last few laps in the previous races this weekend, but now it's a different one. Can Toprak use all of the pace that he's had to go and chase down, to go and attack, to go and chase down Budiga, our race leader, by a good margin as well? And this is absolutely fantastic stuff on the edge between all of these contenders. Jonathan Ray meanwhile battling for 4th position, and he's trying to hang on there. He's got Andrea Eon, who is directly in behind. Oh, that was poor traction for Eon there, and up the inside will try come Sam Lowe's, trying to take advantage. Sam Lowe's a driver who doesn't need any form of invitation. He'll take any opportunity to the left, the right, the chicane that they make their way through, and now it's foot to the floor stuff. Is there a chance for Sam Lowe's? P6 at the moment, trying to take P5. This would be if he is able to take the position, but they're both, of course, attacking driver in P4, Jonathan Ray. So, Jonathan Ray is going to look to try and maintain things. By the way, Batista's still looking quick. It looks like his sector times have been extraordinary. Last lap time, it was slower than Toprak. Toprak was actually quicker than Buliga by just a little bit. As here we go, side by side we go, further back. So this field is seeing quite a lot of battles. Great to actually be able to see some of those battles as well. I know we've not been able to really see any of which due to the fighting that we've had for the win, but now as the fight for the win has disappeared, it's all happening directly in behind. The third all the way downwards gets a little bit of attention as they race their way by. We've got, of course, the number 55 of Locatelli also putting the pressure. That is on Alex Lowe's at the moment as well. So Alex Lowe's just trying to hold on to things. Sector times that time by. It's 1.5 between first and second, 1.5 between second and third. So the gaps are formed and they don't look to be disappearing in terms of the battle. That mistake being so costly, and that was Toprak forcing himself to go to a point which caused him to have a moment. So Toprak, well, that's the risk versus reward stuff I think that they've had to display across the entire weekend. They've had to put that on show across all of the races, and it's all about that. If you are the opposite driver, in this case Buliga, all you needed to do was try see whether you could just push that little bit more to try and make your rival make a mistake, because that was basically the difference between basically making your life easier all the way till the end, or it being a battle into the final centimeters of the race, and quite literally into the final centimeters, as we worked out in race 1 yesterday, and the drag, and also the last corner overtake that we had earlier on. Battle for P4 is still ongoing, I should say, and Jonathan Ray has lost the position. So Jonathan Ray now drops down to 5th, and Andrea Eon has been able to move himself up a place, so he'll be quite happy with that one, I am sure. But Jonathan Ray is absolutely going to do everything, I'm sure, to fight back with as well. Let's take a look at a replay of the moment that we had. Jonathan Ray just out wide, kind of like what we've seen earlier on between our leading two. And that just gave the opportunity, the perfect opportunity that Andrea Eon needed at that moment. And he was able to take the position. But Sam Lowe's, he's a driver to keep an eye on, because he'll be getting a little bit impatient, I'm sure, of just watching the two riders ahead of him battle. And I'm sure he'll try and make a battle for himself to try and get involved with. Remember the point system here in the World Superbikes. You get 25 for the win, 20 for second place, and 16th place gets third. We award points all the way down to P15. And we basically count down all the way from 5th onwards. It goes 11 straight down to 1. All the way till P15 is how the points are distributed. And then the Super Pole race, which you would have seen earlier on a few hours ago, 12 are available for the winner. It goes for 9, goes to second, and then it's 7 for third, and then all the way down to 1 for 9th position. Of course, the top 9 are the ones which start how they finish in the race number 2 that we've got going on. The rest of them have to, well, basically have their grid set in similar positions by their lap times that they had set in the Super Pole as well. I know it can get quite confusing in the World Superbike with Super Poles, the race being a Super Pole, the qualifying being a Super Pole as well. But yes, it's all interesting here in this championship. World Superbikes, all it does is promote some extra bit of action. It just basically allows for more overtaking and more action here in this championship, something that they did a few years ago to just allow a bit more overtaking. It can be quite hard to get used to if it is your first time. If it is your first time watching this championship, which, well, Buliga is going to be gaining into the points gap of Toprak, and what a moment this is going to be. Buliga, exactly what he would have dreamt of. And I wouldn't even be surprised if Batista could try and go on the attack. Remember, TNT were talking about earlier on, would there be any team orders coming into play? Not in terms of, well, of course, that would have been in the case of if they were together. Oh, going down, big moment. And for Sam Lowe's, I think that was, who's gone down, and he's basically gone under. So that is Sam Lowe's who's out of the race. We saw it happen directly live, turn number 14 and 15. With 2 to go, and he was pushing on, and he was waiting to see whether there was going to be any chance for him to go on the attack. And that is such a shame for him. And that'll be him now just trying to get things back together. Absolutely extraordinary stuff. Not for the right reasons. And also Michael van der Mark is at a moment. And he's also had a big incident as well. So we've had 2 moments go on. It's all happened. We may not have a battle for the win, but an even bigger dramatic moment, because over the gravel went van der Mark there. So we saw it live happen in the case of Sam Lowe's. Michael van der Mark also with disappointment at that part of the circuit. And while all of the drama unfolds behind, the fight for the win, well, it's 2.9 seconds at the moment. It was a mistake for Toprak, a costly mistake for Toprak, and that is going to invite Buliga back into proper championship contention. We mentioned that even though Toprak, well, he was chasing the record, 14 wins in a row is what he was chasing earlier on. Super Pole race, Buliga with a last corner overtake took that away from him. And this championship battle looks like we'll be going the distance. We mentioned it was a very important round of racing this. It was a very important race this here at Aragon. And it is going to be Buliga who will be making his way and getting himself prepared for the winning moment. They are getting ready for celebrations on the pit wall, and this is a big moment in the context of our championship battle in 2025 here in the World Superbikes. Buliga went toe-to-toe with Toprak. He's come out on top. Buliga wins race number 2 here at Aragon. What a superb performance from him. And after mentioning in the Super Pole race that he won that, okay, that was good, I want to go and win race 2, he's done exactly that. Toprak's in second, Batista with a third. He had to go on the attack after losing a lot of positions at the start, but he started where he finished, is the story of his day. And then it was Eon in 4th, Jonathan Ray in 5th, and Lowe's gets 6th. He capitalizes on his mistake from his brother, but now it is 36. It is 36 points between Toprak and Buliga in our championship battle here in the World Superbikes 2025. We've got confirmation of the results. That was absolutely box office, absolutely fantastic. The fans in the grandstands applaud. Motorland Aragon has delivered across the 3 races that we have run this weekend. Lap number 18 of 18 sees Buliga emerge as the winner, and Ducati will be loving life because they also find themselves inching ahead and extending their advantage in the team's championship as well. Well, that was absolutely fantastic. And of course, we're going to get ready for the celebrations coming our way later on. But this championship battle, which so looked like it could have been over. It so looked like it could have been over. earlier on if Top Rack continued doing Top Rack things when Buliga needed to try and recover, when he needed to take it away and start his attack, he has done so. And Top Rack's final race for the Superbikes here at Motorland Aragon, well, unfortunately, it's not going to be the best memories by his standards. Oh, he got a win on his final weekend for World Superbikes at Aragon. It would usually be such a story, but not for a driver like him, not for someone who has won all 3 races on the weekend, just absolutely doing Top Rack things. But this is the round where Ducati have taken the advantage in our team's battle. And, well, not the advantage yet for Buliga and the drivers, but I'm 100% certain he's put himself a step closer. Let us know in the live chat in terms of your thoughts on this title battle and who you think will be taking it. We've had another important round, another important race specifically. As TNT mentioned, it definitely had the feeling of being the most important race of the season in terms of this championship battle. Of course, that will get upended if we go to the final race and that actually be a championship fight. But today's the day that we will look at and be like, okay, this is when the championship battle started. This is where the opportunity came, and we are going to be preparing for that as well. So looking forward to seeing how that is all going to play out. Jonathan Ray, we have to say congratulations to him at the same time, because he absolutely put in a fantastic drive. Jonathan Ray, as he completes things from the World Superbikes and Aragon, he can find himself to a good result. But yeah, a few late incidents I think we've got to mention. Of course, Michael Rinaldi, he found himself with some issues, so he had to come into the pit lane, finishing 2 laps down. So actually, Sam Lowe's, of course, had the incident in the final stages, but he actually still finds himself finishing ahead. But yes, Sam Lowe's and Michael Vandermark, both with big moments and both with crazy moments out there on the circuit, I think we have to say. That was absolutely ludicrous between those 2 drivers on the final lap. And it's not a moment that they'll want to remember. As I've mentioned, it's been a weekend where we've not actually had a lot of that. Not a lot of that. It wasn't one of those where I had to be shouting, oh, we've got a car off or anything. It was more focused on the wheel-to-wheel action. It was heavily focused on the wheel-to-wheel action. And I think overall across the weekend, heavily focused on the battle for the race victory. Absolutely box office. Race 1 delivered. I mean, it gave you a drag race to the line. What else could you want at the end of a motor race? We always want races to go all the way till the final stages. That one did. It was decided by 300ths. So that'll definitely be looked at as one of the great finishes for the World Superbikes. We had an absolutely fantastic race as well. Super pole earlier on. That was thrilling. Once again, a move at the end. And finally, we could crown a winner knowing who the winner was. It's crazy that we've had 3 races in total and we didn't actually get to do that for 2 of them. Okay, let's head down now over to TNT as they continue to analyse everything for us, and also the podium celebrations as well.
And, you know, at some point when you're riding that on the limit, you're going to make a mistake. Top Rack made it. It wasn't a big one. It was a tiny mistake. It just put him a little bit wide, and then obviously lost a little bit of feeling. The Ducatis are just coming behind us, actually, together. Nicola Belega and Alvaro Bautista. You can just hear them behind us. This is on screen, so this is the mistake now. Top Rack's coming up towards turn 7. Look, just gets on the brakes. Runs in a tiny bit hot. This corner, you brake on the side of the tyre, and he just missed the apex by miles. But after that, it was like he just kind of lost. Here we go again. Look, just up the outside. Can't get the bike turned, can't lean on the front too much, and loses a little bit of time there. But yeah, that was it. It kind of all went a little bit wrong from there. But you know, he had a dig, didn't he? And he tried to get back on the back of Nicola Belega, but then he had the gap between Bautista to manage behind him. And look, the emphasis there, the onus is on Nicola Belega. You know, Top Rack didn't need to win that race. He didn't need to win any race. You know, he's got a nice lead, but you know, Nicolo had to, and you know, this weekend he got 2 race wins done.
Yeah, 36 points, like Greg was just saying there, and obviously 62 available each weekend. So, you know, we thought it might be wrapped up in Estoril. That's not going to be the case now. It's going to go down to the wire, we think.
Yeah, it could do, but, you know, we spoke about this earlier on, didn't we, in the Supersport race. You know, it's racing, anything can happen, and Estoril now is going to be like a big challenge. You know, as it stands right now, those two, Toprak Razgatlioglu and Nicolo Balega, they're kind of a little bit of head and shoulders above everybody else. You know, they're generally 1-2 in the races. A little bit of a shout out there for Alvaro Bautista. 9 times a winner here at Aragon, and came on strong there towards the end. 2 podiums for him. But another special mention, I think, for Jonathan Ray as well. 5th place in that race, looking more like his old self. So that was great to see.
We expected this to be a Ducati circuit, and obviously Bulega just missed out earlier on in race 1. Do you think there was something lacking there, or just took him a little bit of a while to get up to speed?
Difficult to say, isn't it? I mean, it's a tough race. The boys are all on the limit. You know, they're all pushing to the absolute maximum to do what they've got to do. You know, there's some tyre management going on there. The amount of overtakes we saw in that race as well, you know, that takes it out of everything. And, you know, trying to show each other, look, I can pass you here and I can pass you there. And, you know, it was backwards and forwards, wasn't it, all the time? I lost count of how many overtakes there were in that race. So just an absolutely enthralling battle, and it was just a shame that Toprak just made that tiny mistake, literally, like I said, on the limit, just couldn't get the bike turned in. That sort of gave him a gap, and then, you know, from there on, I think he probably just thought, you know what, I can't see Toprak settling, but maybe there was a part of him that thought, I'm absolutely on the edge here, I can't crash.
Do you think there was ever Ducati team orders in there that Bulega started slowing the race down a little bit towards the end to allow Bautista to get back in with a shot a little bit?
I would suggest not, just because, you know, Alvaro's already been fairly vocal about the fact that he wasn't going to let that happen, and Nicolo wouldn't want that either. I think he'd want to, you know, try and beat Toprak fair and square, and he's done it twice today, so hats off to Nicolo Balega.
Yeah, exactly. Well, 2 wins for Nicolo Bulega today on Sunday here in Aragon. He'll be pretty chuffed with that, as we can hear right now from JT, who's in part firmo with all our podium finishers.
Well, it wasn't a grandstand finish here in Aragon in race 2, but it was certainly a spectacle, and the championship is still absolutely wide open. But the first rider that's coming towards us is Alvaro Bautista. He's racing at home with his beloved Ducati as he once again kisses the back of it. He's got his mum here and his girls. Alvaro, how special was that to do it in front of the family? I know it's a difficult job. I know you would have wanted to catch the 2 in front.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to catch them, but yeah, I had to take a lot of risk, no? So I just tried to manage. I saw the difference with the back, and behind me I have a lot of gap, no? So I just tried to finish the race, no? It was important, especially after yesterday's crash. And for sure, yeah, to do it in front of the family, the fans, is very special, no? Especially in this track that I had good memories. This season we are struggling a little bit more, but well, I have to be happy, because and now with the situation we have is the maximum we can achieve, no? So I'm happy because we get the maximum.
Another solid weekend, Alvaro. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Only 1 point behind Locatelli as well now, Alvaro, for the 4th place, as Greg said earlier on in commentary. 2 factory Ducatis on the podium and a BMW in between them, and this is the rider for BMW, Toprak Razgatlioglu. He's lost a few points this weekend. You knew it was going to be tough, and it was tough.
Anyway, for me it's a hard race again, and we are starting the battle with Nicolo, the beginning race. But after I did mistake on the 7, I make the same braking, but when I'm downshift, I'm not feeling immediately engine brake, rear pushing in front. I use the first gear for stop again. But I don't know why engine brake not working immediately. I don't understand, because only that lap I feel this problem. And after I'm just try to catch him, but impossible, because his pace also strong. I'm just pushing so hard. I see also Alvaro looks coming. And also the last laps I'm pushing so hard because I need the 2nd position. And but I'm happy, you know, we are finished all weekend the podium. That's good. The first race the win. Anyway, I did after many years later. First time I'm winning in Aragon. This is good. This is the positive for me. And we take a good point for the championship. Now we are going to do Estoril. I like this track. We will see there. You know, I'm just trying to fighting again for the win.
Another amazing weekend, fabulous racing. Thank you very much. The race has been absolutely amazing, Toprak. Thank you very
much. Thank you.
We'll see him in Estoril in a couple of weeks' time. It's absolutely been outstanding, hasn't it? The performance from these two. And it's against that Toprak and this man here. Nicolo, your first ever victory in a full race situation here at Aragon. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel very good, and I was missing a lot this feeling I needed. So I hope it gives me a lot of motivation for the final round.
Obviously 2 rounds left now, 36 points. I'm sure psychologically coming into this round you knew you had to win here.
Yes, I knew, and yesterday I was not very happy because I lost the race. We were not very perfect with the bike, but today we made an improvement, so I want to say thanks to my team because we worked hard yesterday for improve today. It was not easy because Toprak was always very, very strong. And yeah, at the end, win 2 races today is very good.
Estoril and Jerez. Can you do this?
I will try. I will try until the last lap of the last race. We know that we have to be more than perfect because with a top rack like that, if you don't are more than perfect, you cannot win. So we have to work very hard, believe until the end, and then we will see.
Well, today was perfect, and because of you. Well done, Nicolo.
Thank you, thank you.
It was absolutely perfect, wasn't it? A double here on a Sunday in Aragon. Nicola Bulliger only 36 points behind the championship lead. Is he going to be the next and the new World Superbike champion for the first time? We will see. But last but very not least, my old mate, Andre Iannone. He's got no choice to talk. How are you doing, my friend? 4th, very strong result for you.
Yeah, it's really strong. Jonathan today ride really well and have a really good speed. So sincerely in Angor Yamaha have a really good grip, and now with the fuel also the engine improve a lot. It's also a good race for us. This year is really difficult for us, but so when we weekend like this, so more or less we are happy, and so I hope these last 3 races are in this level.
How important was that result for you right now in this point of the championship with everything that's happening for next year?
So sincerely is important or not. So is from which point of view you see the situation. But okay, always is important, but it's important for me, for my moral, for my head. And so I know I felt a good feeling, and so when I confirm, I'm really happy, and I come back to home with more relax. So you know, you on the past, you know what I speak now. So
congratulations, Andre. A fabulous weekend.
Ciao, thank you very much.
A great weekend of racing in Superbikes. Back to you, Rachel.
It was indeed. Thanks so much, JT. Yeah, well, we heard from Nicolo Bulliger saying he needs to be more than perfect when we go to Estoril in Jerez, if that's even possible. And then as well, guys just trying to walk into shot there. And then as well, Toprak, we know what the problem was. He said it was engine braking. I mentioned, could it be tyres?
Yeah, there had to be a problem, and I'm kind of relieved that something had gone a little bit wrong. He said he had to go back to first gear in the end. That cost him a lot of time. Obviously, you saw that he left a big black line on the exit of the corner. That would be just because the RPM would have been much higher than he would have needed it. On the side of the tyre, trying to get the bike going, it would have spun the tyre, left a load of rubber on the floor, and unfortunately that was the bit that broke him. But it's strange to feel something like that just one time in the whole race, and yeah, I'm sure he'll be a little bit frustrated. That was a man on the right there, Chris Gonshaw. He's a technical director of BMW. You know, he'll be sifting through the data and trying to understand what went wrong and why that happened. But I think that all in all, as I said earlier on, you know, Toprak's done an absolutely incredible job here. Really shouldn't have won a race. You know, we spoke about it in the build-up to the show yesterday. We're saying that, you know, if he's going to continue this winning streak, this is going to be the most difficult place for him to do it. But he's walked away from here with his first ever victory in Aragon, as has Nicola Bulliger, and 2 more podiums as well, 2 more second places. So as far as the championship goes for Toprak, you know, it's all systems go still, but the fight's wide open for us as neutrals, and it couldn't be better going into Estoril.
Yeah, Toprak definitely took the positives, didn't he, by saying what Shane said there. First ever win here at Aragon on the Superbike. That was yesterday, settled for 2 second places today, and we can see all of our podium finish, including that man, our championship leader with 36 points now. Toprak make his final way to the podium here in Aragon in terms of a World Superbikes as well, Greg.
Podium. Oh, and I'm glad those drums have just stopped for you. I thought you might have to shout there to hear yourself, let alone anything else, Rachel and Shaky. But thank you very much indeed. And up indeed, as you say, to the podium we come. The hometown hero, as it were, Alvaro Bautista, the fan club out in force, very much including Lisa from England, who comes to all of the rounds supporting Bautista, including down in Australia. Toprak and Budiger, your winner. Listen to the chants for Toprak as well amongst the Spanish crowd. Toprak didn't get the consecutive win record, at least they didn't beat what he'd already done himself last year, but he's on 21 consecutive podiums now. That is only 4 away from Colin Edwards' record of 25 successive podiums. So if Toprak keeps finishing on the podium through to race 1 in Jerez, he's equalled it. Well done, Alvaro Bautista. He's gone for a full year now, though, without winning a race. He'll be a little bit disappointed, I think it's fair to say. He seems pleased enough, but he knew it was going to be difficult, and I think he's going to be frustrated to have not had a win here, because there's every chance now he's going to get through to the end of the season without having won a race, and I never thought I would be saying that about Bautista. Let's hope that's not the case. Still got Estoril and Jerez to go. BMW just fallen to a few points behind Ducati now in the Manufacturers. In the Manufacturers Championship, by the way, only the first bike counts in each race. It's not like the teams, as Ignacio Veneda, the deputy president of the FIM, to George Villegas, gives out the winning trophy to Budiger, his 10th win of the season. Flavio, chief mechanic at Aruba Ducati, collecting the trophy for the team. There's Serafino Fotti, the team manager. Camila, with the sunglasses there, Nicolo Budiger's girlfriend, whose sister, incidentally, is the girlfriend of Stefano Manzi, World Supersports Championship leader. So we've got an Argentina fan down there as well, doesn't it? But now it's that very, very upbeat tune, the Italian national anthem for Budiger. And now it is Prosecco time. I know what that's like, having been brutally attacked just behind the podium with the champagne at the Bowl Door last weekend by the Suzuki Cert rider Greg Black. Thanks again for that. Nicolo Budiger winning for the 10th time this season. Toprak seems pleased enough, doesn't he? Minimalising the damage in the championship, and he's achieved his target of winning for the first time at Motorland Aragon. So Cremona, the only track on the calendar on which Toprak has not won a race. Well, 30 races down, 6 to go, 2 rounds remaining.
Absolutely, all to play for as well. And that brings the end to our coverage for the World Superbikes this weekend. My thanks to JB for the race yesterday, along with Megan for producing this behind the scenes as well today. And we will be back in a week's time for a double header of Portugal and Spain to crown our champion. Will it be Toprak or will it be Budiger? Budiger's in the hunt, I think today has taught us that, and we look forward to seeing who will be crowned our champion. Make sure to join us in 2 weeks' time to find out. Goodbye.